Hey guys, so I wanted to take some time today because it's raining out and it's been really muddy here in New Hampshire. I don't want to ruin the road to my cabin, but I wanted to give you an update on some things that I do when I'm not out at the cabin. And today I'm going to show you just a quick, easy way to sharpen a chainsaw blade, and also show you this saw that I just got. So this chainsaw on days when I'm not out at the cabin, sometimes I feel like it can be a wasted day because I can't do the work that I need to do. But I need to find things to keep myself occupied, and there's always things that I can do as far as gathering parts and materials and tracking down things that I'll need later on, so that when I am out at the cabin I can be more productive. So one place I check pretty often is Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. It's kind of the latest way to buy and sell things online. It used to be Craigslist, 20 years ago, and I think just Craigslist's been falling off the map. Even selling cars is difficult now. There's a lot of scams. It's mostly all dealerships. There's no way to really find good deals or get connected with people nearby. It's always seems like 3-4 hours away, even in a small state like New Hampshire. But Facebook Marketplace lets you filter based off of location. So I just kind of have a filter running for within 20 miles or 15 miles or whatever of where I'm staying. And once you start looking at things, this is kind of the algorithm. The way things work nowadays is if you start looking at chainsaws, if you start looking at boats, if you start looking at half-ton pickups, whatever, then it's going to start suggesting more of those things. And say what you will about algorithms and people knowing what information you have out there, but your information's out there. There's no way to really stop it unless you don't have any online presence, and even then it's still very hard. So it's something I think we just have to live with. But a lot of the good deals that get posted on Facebook Marketplace, for instance, are gone just like that. So they'll get posted, it's a good deal, someone will realize it, and they'll drop everything and go get it. And that's been my best advice, and the way that I found works the best is on days when you're not fully occupied, in my case working on the cabin, then if I see something on Facebook Marketplace that's worth my time, then I need to drop everything and go see it. I build kind of a sense of urgency and send the seller a message depending on where they are. Say, I'll be there in 20 minutes to pick it up, give me the address, and you go get it, and it gets sold and it gets taken off. And so you'll see a lot of good deals pop up, and then you'll be thinking about it, and then they're sold. So you really need to act on it fast. And that's exactly what I did with this chainsaw. So I've been looking for a good name brand chainsaw. This is a steel. It's a MS290, which is kind of the farm grade, ranch grade, high-end homeowner saw. It's not their professional level, but it's going to be better than a lot of saws on the market. It's going to have good parts, good access to used parts, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a saw that looked like it had been gently used and cared for. This one I think has been gently used. It's been serviced, has a sticker, so it's been brought in for service, but also it's a little dirty, but I've gone through it and it looks really good to me. Starts right up, and I'll walk you guys through this saw a little bit. So I saw this post up on Facebook in the town next to me, and I said I'll be there. Went and picked it up, and here it is. So this here is a Chinese chainsaw, non-name brand. about the cheapest chainsaw you can buy. I think I paid $90 for it, for a 20-inch bar. And this is not a bad chainsaw. I've done some tuning and some upgrades to it. Obviously this bar is new. This is a Husqvarna style bar, and then it also has a new Oregon chain on it. And I'll do a video later one of these days that will show you this chainsaw, where I bought it, how much I paid for it. I think $90, something like that, delivered. Starts right up. The chain and the bar that came with it were garbage. It lasted, you know, just a few trees worth of cutting, and then couldn't be sharpened, wouldn't stay sharp. But it's designed in a way that lets you use name brand parts, and it's not easy to find the exact part numbers that will work with it. So that's what I had to take the time and look through the manuals and contact the seller and ask, you know, what pitch and how many teeth are on the chain. It turns out that it's using Husqvarna interchange parts, so this could be a Husqvarna bar and chain. I got the Oregon stuff, and because it's designed after an older Husqvarna, I think I've got $20 into the chain and $30 into the bar. And now that I know what it takes, you can actually buy those together in a pack and save some money that way. But also you could buy a 2-pack of bars, you know, for I think 40 bucks. So this isn't the saw I'm gonna focus on today. It does have a brand new bar and brand new blade on, brand new chain on it. And it's not a bad saw, I'll tell you what. It's not gonna last forever, but I'm gonna use that as my backup saw. And then this is gonna be my primary firewood saw and clearing saw. So I'm gonna show you the things that I looked at when I bought it, and then we're gonna sharpen the blade. Now sharpening the blade is pretty easy. You can, you know, spend a lot of time on it, but when you search on YouTube how to sharpen a chainsaw blade, you'll come up with 20-minute long videos and different gadgets people are trying to sell. Well, you can do it pretty quickly. You just need a couple files, and I'm going to show you how I do it and look at this blade. All right, so here's the saw I got. So I paid $200 for this, and I'm pretty happy with that. You can't really buy a Husqvarna or a steel chainsaw nowadays for that's worth anything, worth, you know, less than $500–600. I think this would be in the $500 category range. I looked it up. They don't make the MS290 anymore, but they make the MS291, which I think is comparable, and I think that's selling for around $650. Of course, you can get all different kinds of prices, but what made me think it was well cared for is this is a newer bar. It wouldn't be the bar that came on this machine. It's the latest kind of steel bar, and then you can tell that by obviously the Sharpie there, but this information is still clear and not worn off. The Sharpie information obviously would also be easily worn off. So that's the pitch of the blade, so that's probably on there from when it was on the shelf in the store, maybe the shop that worked on it. This blade also looks relatively new. I don't know how well you can see it, but it does need a sharpen, so I don't think it was used very much or very much at all since the bar and the blade was put on. But I think they were probably doing some dirt sawing and no real rock dings that I've seen, but it needs to be sharpened. So if you can see these blades or these teeth compared to this brand new blade, these are just much sharper when I feel them. These are almost razor sharp. These are not, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to tune up. So the other things is had a sticker on it, obviously been serviced, spark plug looks good, started right up. I haven't checked the filter in here yet, but the fuel looks good. The carburetor, so if you take off this I all blew out with compressed air. It was actually pretty gross in here. If you take off these two screws, under the air filter is the carburetor. It looks perfect, brand new, no gum or anything in there. But other than that, it's a nice saw. I'm gonna do a service on it. I took the bar off. Everything looks good under there. What else? I think that's about it. Starts right up. But for now, I'm gonna show you kind of how I do these, the sharpening. All right, so on these blades, if you're not familiar, or the saw, the teeth, you have, this is the tooth that does the cutting, and you'll see this angle's going this way. So I'm talking about this angle here is like this, and then the next tooth is the opposite. So it's the same angle, except it's just alternating sides. So you sharpen one side at a time, and then you flip it around and do the other side. So this angle here is the angle that's going to guide your file. All right, so when I'm pushing on the file, file's only cut in one direction. When I'm pushing on the file in the forward direction, I'm cutting and trying to keep that angle the same as that right there. You don't want to go like this, that 90 degrees to the tooth. You really want to try to be like this. And on here, I think it's supposed to tell you, not super familiar, not a saw expert, but I'm going to share the info I have. Sometimes it'll say on here, on the teeth, so it says steel here, but sometimes it'll tell you what angle they are, and I'm sure it does, and I just don't know where to look. But that angle's telling you how to hold your file. So I'm gonna try my best here to hold the camera and get some good cuts with this file here. Now you're supposed to wear gloves when you do this. And so you can see now on this tooth that I just ran that file over, it's nice and shiny. I don't know how well you can see, but this is shiny compared to the next one, which is right here. And you can kind of also feel it and hear it when you're ready to move on. So that kind of did that. And then up here on the top of this, sometimes this will be burred up. And what I do with that, you take the flat file and kind of same thing. You just want to clean that up a little bit so that it's not rough and jagged. Same thing on this back side sometimes. So this right here, we've cut that in, looks good. And then the other thing to check for is this leading edge here needs to be shorter than the top of this. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems. So sometimes on an older chain that's been sharpened a few times, you have to actually knock this down. So I'm gonna do this whole blade. I'm gonna go around each one, and then I'm gonna flip it around and do the opposite. Now, on this blade at least, I think there's a link that's yellow. Maybe not. I thought there was a link that was a different color, and that helps you keep track of what you've done. But I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna sharpen each one and get them nice and sharp, and you can kind of tell just by feeling how they are, and then that'll be it. All right, so we got that saw sharpened, and I think it's gonna be a lot better. It's better to do this, of course, when you're not in the middle of the forest, and so I've got a rainy day. I don't wanna be on the muddy roads ruining them, so I'll get this squared away, get this all serviced up, and then get this out to the cabin and do some work with it, get some firewood, cut down some trees. This one, again, let me know if you want to learn more about this. I think it's going to be a good saw. I've used it, taken down some trees with it. It does a really good job for what it is. Like, again, it's $90. It leaks bar fluid, uses a lot of fuel actually, but it cuts good. It starts right up. And I haven't babied it. It's been sitting for a few months, but I think what I'll do, this obviously has a bigger bar, but I'm going to use that kind of as my backup saw, and this will be my primary saw, and this should be in pretty good shape that way. And all in all, so this cost $200 used, this saw was $90, and I have probably $30 into the bar and $20, $30 into the chain. So all in all, $360 into 2 saws. I think that's pretty good place to be. So thanks for watching.